Welcome to Game News from May 16, 2014. It's time for your weekly dose of information, but don't worry, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way. Whiskers on kittens, something like that. I'm Chris, this is Mike.
Hello.
And this is Grover.
Dude!
The big news this week is likely one everybody's already heard, but come early June, the Xbox One price drop that's now down to $400. It removes the controversial and generally unused Kinect device from the unit, though it's still sold separately, and there's some rumor that it will even improve the system's performance in the process. Rumor. Microsoft said that they made the announcement weeks before E3 so they can focus on the amazing cast of games coming up and not the hardware itself. But this isn't the only good news. No longer will you need to pay a subscription fee to the Xbox Live Gold in order to use services like Netflix and Hulu. About friggin' time, too! And even better, the Games with Gold setup that gives those free games to subscribers every month will begin at the same time for Xbox One finally. And plus, it's official, Halo 5 Guardians has been officially announced as real.
We're gonna go to 10.
We're going to take it to 11!
If we need that extra push over the cliff, you know what we do?
Put it up to
11, exactly.
There we go.
This week, electronics giant Philips has added to Nintendo's stress by striking up a lawsuit against the Mario Maker due to 2 allegedly stolen patents that were used to create some of the Wii U's interactivity with the player. The claims are not a recent development, as they were first brought to Nintendo's attention as far back as 2011, but Philips has been dissatisfied with Nintendo's inaction and is now looking to call a halt to all Wii U sales as well as financial recompense for damages.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah.
Lots of spaghetti!
EA's doing quite well on finances this month, so while 3 of their bigwigs sold millions of dollars worth of their stocks this week. But this wasn't the biggest news, as EA confirmed that because of GameSpy's shutdown, many of its past games will be taken offline on June 30th, including all the pre-Battlefield 3 games, the PS2 version of Star Wars Battlefront series, both Neverwinter Night RPGs, and most of the Command & Conquer titles, you pieces of shit! To name only a few. You can find the link to a list of games in the description. You son of a bitches!
They did not list Command & Conquer 4, you can still play that online.
Oh, whoopty too.
And while the often delayed Watch Dogs is being praised by its publisher Ubisoft as its most pre-ordered game in the company's history, they've also stated the ridiculously impressive The Division has been delayed to 2015.
Popular zombie survival game DayZ was hacked, but developer Bohemia Interactive says thankfully they found no evidence that user data was compromised. Some reports stated the hackers managed to nab the game's source code, but Bohemia neither confirmed nor denied this in their statement.
Curious. Okay, this sounds really amusing, but Dota 2 players will be able to get an overpriced but admittedly amazing DLC pack for $10 that'll have Kevin Brighting reprise his role as the narrator from the Stanley Parable as the game's MC.
Ashamed of its past and its horrific crimes, Radiant's courier has just thrown itself onto an enemy blade.
What? That's actually kind of cool.
And lastly, for the first time in a long while, Square Enix posted a $65 million profit as the revamped Tomb Raider, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X-2 HD Remastered, and the long-anticipated release of their latest Thief game has contributed to the success, as well as Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, continuing favorable rise in profits.
So that was game news for May 16th, 2014. Prepare the ramparts, batten down the hatches, and prepare for E3. Tired of me mentioning that yet? Well, only a few weeks more. We're almost there.
Almost. I'm looking forward to Games with Gold Xbox Live for Xbox One, so maybe that'll have an Xbox One library worthy of mentioning.
Yep.
We'll see you all next week for the next game news.
See you next week.